A very good morning to all the students today. Today in this video, I'll be covering two important topics of Java. The first topic is command line arguments and the second topic is file handling. To start with the first topic, that is command line argument, we should understand what are command line arguments. Command line arguments are the arguments to the main function which are passed to this main function through command line of the Java runtime environment. These arguments are always passed as strings and stored in a string array. You can access these arguments by accessing the 0th index, 1st index, so on and so forth of this string array named args. You can name this string array as any, like A1, A2, A3, any variable. This args is just to standardize the things. So this is a simple example class that I have written in which my main aim is to pass two arguments to this function through command line and print those command line arguments that are being passed to this main function. The name of the class is command line in which the main function is present. Since the name of the class is command line in which the main function is present, I have named my program also as command line.java. You can see in the main function parameter, the brackets, it is taking only one parameter as a string array named args. And what I am doing with the string array, I am just accessing the 0th location and 1st location in these two statements and printing on screen. And because this is an array accessing that you are doing, and the values of this array is passed from the command line runtime environment, there may be some error. If there is some error, it may generate some exception, that is array index out of bound exception. So we must put these two statements in a try and catch block, which should catch array index out of exception and just print. I'm just printing a single statement in that there is some problem with the arguments that you are passing. So when this block would be executed, whenever there is some problem in these two statements, either you have not passed these two arguments or you have passed less number of arguments, then the catch block would be executed. So you have already covered try and catch in your previous chapter, exception handling in your previous chapter. And this is all about this class. So now the main idea is when you're working with NetBeans, how to execute this kind of a program in which command line arguments need to be passed, since this is a user interface based editor. So there is a process to do that. You have to go to File, Menu, drop down menu and go to Project Properties. Since this particular program, that is command line.java, is being stored in a project named FileHandling, so because there may be some other projects in your NetBeans in which you are working. So right now when you are in this program, it will show the project name of the current program. So you have to open the project properties, go to the run option. In the run option, you have to set the main class that you want to execute, in which your main function is there, which is asking for the command line arguments. So the main class name that I want to execute is command line. That is the reason I have written here is command line. So if there is something else written over here, you have to just remove it and put the name of the class which contains your main function in which you want to pass the command line arguments over here. After that, you can see there is a arguments it is asking for in the arguments list. So you can do that. You can just pass the arguments that you want to pass here. First argument I want to pass is a string named hello, and the second argument that I want to pass is a string named world. Both the arguments are separated by space. So this is it that I want to do with this program. These are the arguments, and this is the main class in which my function is present, that is main function is present, which would be given these two command line arguments while executing. So that is it. We now want to execute this program. I'll just click OK. It has saved my command lines argument, and now I just have to go to run and run my project. See, now you don't have to run the file now. You have to go and run the project because you have changed the project settings. So this is the run project that you will be doing, and it will just show here the first argument, that is through this statement, hello here, and through this statement it will print the second argument, world, over here. Since both the arguments we passed were correct and both the statements executed, so this catch block won't be executed. But let us try to create some error into this. That is, again we'll go to file, we'll go to project properties, and we'll go to run again and just pass a single command line argument. See, I just passed the single command line argument to this command line class. I'll say OK, and let's run the project again. So now you can see that the first line is executed properly, that 0th argument is hello, but when it went to the second line printing the first argument, there it did not find any first argument. So it will directly jump into the catch block and will print this particular statement, there is argument problem. So this is the simple thing how we can pass the arguments, command line arguments, to our functions. The second program in which I will use this concept is file handling. Actually, this is a program number 7 of your list, in which the main aim of the program is to give a file name as a input, as a command line argument to the main function, the file name. Whatever file is given as an input in the command line argument will be opened as a reader to read the content from the file line by line, and to only print those lines which starts with double slashes, and skip rest of the lines which are either starting with single slash or not starting with any of the double slashes. So this is the main aim. So for that we need to create a class. I have given the name of the class as program 7, in which my main function is there. So that is the reason my file name is also program7.java. So there is a main function because I want to pass file name as a command line argument. That is the reason I have stated here string array args, because I am just expecting one command line argument. That is, the first command line argument should be the file name that I want to open in the reading mode. So I'll first check args.length. This can be there. Otherwise, you can just put this command as in the TryCatch block that we did in the previous program. But this is the other way of doing it. You can just check the length of this array args, since args is nothing but a string array. So length can be executed on args. So you check the length of this args array, and if it is not equal to 1, that means the first parameter is missing in this args. That means the user has invoked the main function of this program 7 but not passed the file name as an argument, and this is empty. So that means in that case you have to just print an error and return. This is one way of doing it. And another thing is, but if the file name has been passed, that will be stored on the 0th location of args. If this will not happen, then your control of the Java runtime environment will come on this block. What is happening in this block? You are just opening the file name which is present on the 0th location of your argument array, args array, and you are creating a file reader to it. That means you are opening it in the reading mode. And this file reader you are passing to the BufferReader. You are using the statement earlier also in your program. But earlier what you were doing, you were connecting your BufferReader to the command prompt. So whatever you were entering from the command prompt was given to BR BufferReader, and that you were able to use in your codes. But now my BufferReader is attached to this file reader object which is opened in the reading mode. So that means whatever commands for reading you will execute from this BR object will actually read from this file which you have given as an input to this BR object. So now my BR object, that is BufferReader object, is being connected to my file which is opened in the reading mode. I will start executing the read lines. I will start executing or reading the lines from this file. So the first command that is executed is br.readline. The first line would be read, and stored in a local variable named line. And we need to now put this reading of the lines from the file in a while loop till the last line is reached or till the line becomes null. So every line is being read again and again, and this while loop will keep on executing till you reach the end of the file. Whenever your line is there, whatever your line is there, you have to first check whether the line is 0, the length of the line is 0, because there may be a space in that line as well. So if the line doesn't contain any character, you have to just skip it and go to the next line. But if it contains any character, you have to check the first two characters, that is the character at 0th location in that line and the character at first location in that line. If both are slashes, you have to print that line, but if any one of them is not slash, then you don't have to print the line. So that means the lines which does not contain a single slash or which actually contains a single slash or which doesn't contain any of the slash will not be printed in this block. So you will keep on executing this while loop again and again till the last line is reached, and this is the whole logic about this file reading. Since file reading is done, always put the file reading in a try and catch block. This is a TryCatch block which will handle the errors related to reading the file. And in the catch, for that try block, you just need to capture the IO exception. So if there is any error in the input output from that file, this catch would be executed and you will be safe out of this program if any problem occurs with the file reading. So the same thing will happen. We just want to read a file. So we have already created a file over here named practical7.txt in some of the folder. So you can just create your file in any of the folder, not necessarily the folder in which you are saving the program. So I'll just show you what is there in this file. There are some statements in this file. Some are starting with double slashes, some are not starting with any slash, some are starting with a single slash. So this is the content of the file that we have created in the notepad. You can also create a sample file and name it with some abcd.txt. I have named it as prac7.txt. And now I have to go again to my program, right? I need to run it. So first thing I need to do is, because this program is asking for a command line argument, I need to go on File, Project Properties, and go to Run and change the class that I want to execute now. My class is program7, so I'll just change here prog7. The command line argument that I want to pass here is the path of the file that I want to read. I want to open in read mode. So my file is present. I need to see my file is present here. Just go here up, click here and just copy this path. Control C. I'll go again to my NetBeans. And just put the path here. You have to make one correction in the path. Now the slashes are reverse. So while passing the command line argument, you need to reverse the slashes. And the program name was the text file name in which my content is there is prac7. Let me check again. It is prac7.txt. So I'll just do prac7.txt. That's it. I want to do this thing. No second argument, only first argument. So this is okay. And my properties and my command line argument have been saved here. I'll go to run and run my project. That's it. Let's see whether it is able to run or not. Yes. So you can just see it has only printed those lines which was containing double slashes, and it has skipped all those lines which did not contain any of the double slashes. So this is a simple file handling program through command line arguments. In a next small video, I'll be covering your next file copy, one example of file copy program. Till then, just execute these two things. Thank you so much.